Now, in this Spanish 102 deck that we're using right now, that we've linked to your account, words and phrases are organized by which textbook chapter they came from. There are cards for all vocabulary for chapters 6 through 10. However, you might want to create additional flashcards for words you learned in class that aren't in the textbook, or maybe you want to create a flashcard to practice verb conjugation, like if you keep forgetting the past tense form of a particular verb. So I just finished the study session for the day. As you can see, it took about 7 minutes for me to go through that. I was actually just clicking buttons randomly, but presumably you'll be doing much better than I was just now. When you finish a study session, it'll return to the main screen, or you can return at any time by clicking the back button. What I'll show you next is how to create a new card. So say your professor teaches you something in class that isn't in the textbook that she wants you to know. Click the plus arrow at the bottom right of the screen, and there's a button that says Add. That's what you're going to click to create a new card. This is also where you can create a new deck for one of your other classes if you want. So we'll click the Add button. What you see here is a blank note. Notes are used to create cards, and for Spanish, you should be quizzing yourself in both directions. See a Spanish word and respond with the English translation, as well as see an English word and respond with the Spanish translation. So for our purposes, we want to put the Spanish word in the front of the card. I'm just going to type Spanish right now, but of course you would actually type a Spanish word, and then its English meaning, or maybe a photo. You can click that paper clip to attach a photo or a sound. We'll put that in the back option, the back box. Now, to test in both directions, you're going to need to change the type of card that this is. Right now it says Basic. If you click Type Basic, a drop-down menu is going to appear, and you'll have some different options. Click Basic and Reversed Card. What this does is it takes the note we're creating and it will create two cards, one that's Spanish to English and another that's English to Spanish. Now, if you're testing yourself on verb conjugation, so there's some verbs that you have trouble with, you might just want to do a basic card that's only one direction. So the front is the infinitive form and maybe the back is the past tense form. Before you finish creating this card, you should add a tag to it. Click the Tags button, and you can see that these are the tags that already exist in the deck we've created for you. So the different chapters are L6, L7 through L10. So that's lesson 6, chapter 6. If this is from the class time where you've been covering chapter 6 and you want to add it to that so it appears with the rest, if you study just lesson 6 cards before an exam, click lesson 6. But maybe you want to create a new tag, like one that represents words that your professor's teaching you in class that she wants you to know, and they're not in the textbook. To create a new tag, click that plus sign at the top, and then maybe give it a name like prof. Give it a name, anything you want, and you can have multiple tags for a card. Tags are terrific because it's a way to organize them easily, and sometimes you'll want to study only cards that are linked to a certain tag, like if you're doing some last-minute studying before an exam. Click OK, and then click the checkbox on the top right, and as you'll see, it says 2 cards added. That's because it made, again, both front to back, Spanish to English, and then back to front, English to Spanish. You can make another card now, but we're going to exit this by clicking the return arrow at the top. Click OK here. Now you can change some settings with Anki. So for example, you can change how many new cards you see a day. The default is to see 20. But if you're feeling really ambitious, you can study more today. You hold down the Spanish 102 name. So just put your finger on it and hold down, and this menu will pop up. You can do custom study for the day. So you can add more new cards for today. If you went through those 20 really fast, you can do another 10 or another 20, however many you want. You can also review ahead. You can preview the cards that you're going to see tomorrow, whatever you like. If you want to do more in general, I clicked the back button just now, go to Deck Options, and then New Cards. The default, as you can see in the third row here, is 20 a day, but you can increase this if you want to. All right. The last 2 things I want to show you are just tracking your own performance, and then how to do a special review session before an exam. For tracking your performance, go back to that menu button at the top and you'll see the statistics option. This shows you how well you did today. Again, I was clicking buttons kind of randomly, but you can track your performance today as well as over the course of a month and then all time. You can forecast how the cards you've been learning will be like in the coming days, see how much review you've been doing. There's really nothing here right now because this is day 1. But check this maybe every day or every couple of days, and it's pretty neat to see actual graphs and figures of your brain growing, your memory expanding for these words. You can also browse all the cards that are here, so click on Card Browser. This is everything already in the deck if you want to preview them or make any edits. Lastly, if you have an exam coming up soon and you want to just get some extra studying in, click those the three dots on the top right of the screen and go to Create Filtered Deck. Let's type in exam review. So let's delete this name and make this a special exam review session. So if you've been studying Anki diligently every day, you probably won't need to do this, but if you just want to do some bonus review before an exam, this is a great tool. You can specify what type of cards you want to study. So that's the first button where it says filter. Click filter search, and let's say you want to study all the cards in chapter 6. We type in tag L6, then okay. You can limit the number of cards you want to see. So we could do far less than 100, whatever you want. And before you leave, notice that there's this button that says reschedule. Reschedule cards based on my answers in this deck. Remember that the power of Anki is it keeps track of how well you're doing for each card. And it won't show you a card again for a few days or a few weeks if you're doing really well. What you can do is have it save your performance in this special study session we're about to do right now. So if you do great on a card, it will not show you that card again for a while. But if you want to make this just a review and it doesn't save your performance, then uncheck that. So now we're in our special exam review session. Click study, and it'll just go through, max here of 100 cards from lesson 6. So you can get some extra bonus studying in before an exam. All right, so that's Anki. Use it every day to study. Aim for at least 5 minutes a day. And if you do that, you'll be impressed by how quickly your memory for these words becomes long-term memories, and you won't really need to study much before each exam.